welcome to the first episode of the Down the Line podcast. I'm your host Daniel, and I'm with my host Scott. And today we're going to be talking about the Nationals fire sale that happened a couple of days ago, where they sent Daniel Murphy to the Cubs for Andrew Monasterio and a player to be named later, cash. They also sent Matt Adams to the Cardinals just for straight cash. And Daniel Murphy's stats at Wrigley Field are pretty interesting. If you look at his stats, 28 games played at Wrigley, 7 home runs, 14 RBIs, a 4.13 batting average, 440 on-base percentage, 702 slugging percentage, and a 1.142 OPS. And if you remember, do you remember 2015
Yes.
Playoffs?
Yes, I do.
The Mets, Daniel Murphy
was on fire.
Bunch of home runs. And if you look at him, of course, he played a series against Chicago, but one of the pitchers he pitched off of is for playing for a different team. So in 2015, Daniel Murphy hit home runs in the playoffs off of Clayton Kershaw twice, who the Dodgers are in playoff hunt.
Yep.
Jake Arrieta, who is now on the Phillies, but was on the Cubs at the time, and Phillies are in the hunt. John Lester, who is his teammate. Then Zach Greinke from the Diamondbacks, who was on the Dodgers at the time, is also on the playoff contenders. And then Cal Hendricks, who is now a teammate. So do you think Daniel Murphy could have gone anywhere else besides Chicago? What if it fit anywhere else besides Chicago?
I think he could have went somewhere, but I think it's a great fit for the Cubbies because you got a lot of young guys, and with his veteran leadership and his playoff experience, and just I think it's perfect for him. So now you got him, Zobrist, and Chris Bryant, yeah, but he's young too. But you got Murphy's,
Lester.
He's been there in Lester, yeah. But I think he just helps him, and he's so, when it comes to the playoff, he was just clutch, man. He was dominant. So.
And even with the news now that Addison Russell is going on the DL, that helps him a lot up the middle. Now with Baez still playing, and now they can plug in Murphy there. We're also going to talk about his stats versus playoff contenders, which is absolutely ridiculous. I'm just going to go over batting average, home runs, and RBIs. So against the Diamondbacks, 42 games, 335 batting average, 5 home runs, 19 RBIs. Then the Braves, who he played 138 games against because he's been in the East all of his career pretty much. 138 games, 288 batting average, 12 home runs, 65 RBIs. Rockies, 52 games, 4 home runs, 29 RBIs, and a 286 batting average. Then the Dodgers, 51 games, 2 home runs, 20 RBIs, and a 2.93 batting average. The Brewers, 48 games, 302 average. Then he hit 4 home runs, 18 RBIs. And the Phillies, 145 games, 12 home runs, 72 RBIs, and a 313 batting average. Sorry about that. And the Cardinals, 56 games, 5 home runs, and 31 RBIs with a 307 batting average. He practically has almost a 300 batting average against every team. The prospect of, I think the Rockies could have gone out and got him. He probably would have been a fit, but they already have Trevor Story and DJ LeMahieu. Diamondbacks, same thing. Ahmed and Marte at the middle, they could have got him. Not really the Braves, Swanson and Albies. Brewers already have a stacked infield. Phillies maybe, and maybe the Cardinals, but I think the Cubs was probably his best fit.
Yeah, the Cubs are the best fit, but with Javi going playing short in his. I think it's gonna be better for the Cubbies a little bit. Addison Russell played good. Don't get me wrong, but Baez he can cover some ground and he can play some defense, so that's gonna help. And Zobrist, he can go anywhere. You can put him anywhere you need to, anytime, and he's not gonna be a liability. So I think it's a great pickup for the Cubbies at this time.
And then the Nationals also sent Matt Adams to the Cardinals for cash. And Matt Adams, a former Cardinals, played a lot of games at Busch Stadium. 255 games played, 31 home runs, 115 RBIs, and he bats .289. I think that was a great move for the Cardinals. I don't know where you plug him in. You could move Matt Carpenter to the outfield, but maybe third. But I think this is a great move, especially since he played with the Cardinals and he's familiar with the team. I think that's a great move.
Yeah, me too. I think they're playing so good right now, so hot. Man, they're just tough.
Yeah.
I hate to play them right now. They're taking it to Dodgers right now, and I think it can't hurt. I think it's a good move.
And then there was also the interesting news that late in the, I think it was the night, it was announced that Bryce Harper had been claimed off of waivers by a mysterious team. We later found out the next day that it was the Dodgers who had claimed him, but they ran out of time to claim him, and his claim expired, and they weren't able to get a trade, so Bryce Harper will be with the Nationals for the rest of the year. And I kind of like this because Nationals get a compensation first-round pick for losing Harper in the offseason. But could you imagine Bryce Harper going to the Dodgers with their lineup? You have Dozier, Machado, and Harper, your top three hitters. Then you got Turner and Bellinger and Kemp and Muncy and Grandal. That lineup would have been ridiculous.
Yeah, but when Manny coming over, he's batting 250. Chemistry hasn't been there, so you got a lot of young guys looking over their shoulder instead of worrying about the playoffs. They're looking over their shoulder. Where am I going to play? Where am I going to play? Not going to play? Am I going to sit out? So then now you're worried about team chemistry and the growth of these players coming up. Is Harper going to stay? Manny going to stay? So, I think that's the problem with Manny. Everybody's worrying he's going to play third, short, where we're going to put all these guys. And they're not concentrating on beating the teams they need to beat to move up in the standings.
I think the biggest thing with the Dodgers also, they already had a great offense. They're probably one of the best offensive teams in the National League, and at the deadline they decided to add Manny Machado and Brian Dozier and only had one bullpen arm in John Axford, and then Kenley Jansen, who was supposed to be out a month, but I think it was about 2 weeks he was only out. And first game back is back-to-back home runs against the Cardinals. Their bullpen has been awful this year, and they got one bullpen arm, and it was John Axford.
Yeah, their bullpen's killing them right now. So with all the offensive stuff, they were already good. They were pretty good last year. Yeah. Just with the dudes, Sager got hurt, but holy cow, they were good. Us Diamondbacks fan, we didn't want to play them. Yeah. Turner, Bellinger,
And then with Muncy.
Yeah, Muncy this year.
And Kemp.
In Kemp. So it's like, if I was the Dodgers, I probably maybe would have just stayed pat,
Yeah, or get a bullpen arm.
And get a pitcher and just stay, hey, man, let's just ride what we got, which is pretty dang good, So that's my take on that.
So where does this leave the Nationals? So I looked this up, looked at the different contracts for the Nationals, and Max Scherzer is signed until 2022. That's 4 more seasons. Steven Strasburg is signed until 2024.
Yeah.
That's 5 more seasons. And Trey Turner is signed until 2023. They're still not a bad team.
Well, Trey Turner's okay. He's still good. That's 20. Yeah. But Strasburg, that's a lot of money for not pitching him. A lot. But Max, he's worth every penny. So. Yeah, they're okay. They might sign Harper. You never know, but but I think Strasburg is the one that's like an anchor.
Yeah.
If he could stay in, but he can't stay healthy.
I still think they're a good team. They'll probably finish third again next year. They still have Max Scherzer and Anthony Rendon and all those players.
Well, they can't get over the top, so that's their big problem. So. Let them stay down. That's cool with me.
Yep. So we also have the waiver wire deadline is coming up. We want to go over what we think are the best waiver wire deadline deals of all time are, and I was the one that listed these. So for my number 1, I had Justin Verlander traded.
Yeah, so don't hold me. This was all Daniel's top 5, but he's a stat man, so this is all on him.
Yeah, so hold me accountable if you don't like it. So number 1, Justin Verlander traded to the Astros for 3 prospects from the Tigers, and since joining the Astros, 17-8, a 3.73 ERA. They won a World Series, and he's a one-time All-Star. I put this as number 1 opposed to our number 2, which you'll see later, mostly because. They still have time. It'll make sense when I get to my number 2, but they still have Verlander for a long time. That leads us to our number 2. John Smoltz traded to the Braves for Doyle Alexander from the Tigers. And 213 and 155, a 3.33 ERA, 154 saves, 3,084 strikeouts, 1 World Series, and a Hall of Famer. He also won the Cy Young, and he was an 8-time All-Star. I put this at number 2 because the Braves only won 1 championship with him when he was with them for 15 years, which is crazy that they only won one World Series. In my opinion, what was the greatest rotation of all time?
Yeah.
Maddox, Glavine, and then Smoltz, and then he eventually got moved to the bullpen.
Probably the best 10, 12 years for a team winning a division straight.
They have the longest postseason streak of all time. And fun fact about that, Jeff Bagwell never played an MLB season where the Atlanta Braves weren't in the playoffs. He debuted the first year they started their streak, and he retired the last year they ended the streak. Which leads us to number 3. Jeff Bagwell traded to the Astros for Larry Anderson from the Red Sox in 1990. In his career with the Astros, 297 average, 408 on-base percentage, 449 home runs, 1,529 RBIs, Rookie of the Year, and an MVP. Was also a 4-time All-Star. Number 4, Adrian Gonzalez, Josh Beckett, Carl Crawford, and Nick Punto traded to the Dodgers for James Loney and 4 others from the Red Sox in 2012. I think the Dodgers were the big losers in this trade because the Red Sox were able to get rid of $270 million in future payroll, and they would eventually end up winning the World Series just a year later. And then number 5, it was really hard to find another one. Jose Bautista to the Blue Jays for Robinson Diaz from the Pirates in 2008. And Bautista's career with the Blue Jays, he had a 253 average, 285 home runs, 756 RBIs, and he was a 6-time All-Star. Sorry about that, ESPN.
Yeah, I think John Smoltz and all of me, but I think my number 1 is like with Verlander last year because he didn't want to go.
Yep.
He didn't want to be traded. And they at the last second, and he went and then ended up winning the World Series.
Mm-hmm.
I think that, look what happens when you didn't want to go, end up winning the World Series. So that's...
Yeah, only 2 players on this list didn't win a World Series with their new team, and it was Bautista and Bagwell.
Yeah.
Which really sucked for the Astros. They made it 2005, Bagwell's last year in the majors. Gosh dang it, our phones keep going off. 2005 is last year in the majors, and ended up losing to the White Sox. So that's a shame, but that was my top 5 waiver wire deadline deals, and that's going to be it for this episode of the Down the Line podcast. If you did enjoy, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and our SoundCloud, follow our Twitter as well.
Yep, and I promise we will get better. We're just starting. We're rocking and rolling. So hang with us, hang tight, and see you guys later.